What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Double Z Fitness channel, where I share my calisthenics journey with all of you guys. So if you're wondering, is it possible to build muscle with calisthenics? The answer is yes. I've made a video about it. Be sure to check it out. And if you're coming from that video, welcome back, guys. Let's jump right into the topic of the video: how to build muscle with calisthenics. Today's video is going to be separated into 3 different parts. First one will be training, following we have diets, and the third part will be consistency. And before I jump right into the first point, I would like to say thank you all for joining me today, and be sure to subscribe to Double Z Fitness channel to see more informational videos like this in the future. Alright, let's talk about training. When it comes to calisthenics, if your goal is to build muscle, basically you cannot run away from the concept of training like a bodybuilder, which means hypertrophy training, whereby your workout will be structured in such a way that you perform between 6 to 12 reps of exercises in a single set. Anything between 1 to 5 reps is for strength training, and anything that is above 12 reps is commonly known as endurance training. And speaking of rep range, the next question is, how many sets should you do in a day? Well, in my personal opinion, I would say at least 10 sets per day. Let's put it into an example. Let's say you are having a push day today. You will be performing push-ups, dips, pike push-ups, and decline diamond push-ups. And let's say you are doing 3 sets of workout for each of these exercises. That will be total up into 12 sets. An easier way for you to remember is to perform at least 3 sets of 4 different exercises progression for each muscle group in a day. You see, there are tons of research and debates going on when it comes to how much volume should you train per workout session in order to build muscle. That is why I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, because there are tons of factors affecting whether or not you will build muscle, and it varies individually. And that is also why intensity is very important. Like I said, intensity differs among individuals because everybody's fitness level is different. You might find 10 reps of pull-ups very intense, but for someone like Coach Greg, 40 reps of pull-up is like nothing.
What kind of logic is this? Come on!
For people like me or you, 0 reps would be very intense.
A zero muscle from me. A zero!
I'm just joking, but the key point here is to find a sweet spot between 6 to 12 reps. You want to aim almost reaching to muscle failure between this rep range to maximize optimum results of muscle goals. To maximize optimal results of muscle growth. So another way to make sure that your muscle is growing is by progressive overloading your workouts. So what does progressive overload means? It means method of strength training that advocates for the gradual increase of stress placed upon the muscular, skeletal, and nervous system. What does that mean? It means make the exercise harder. So how do you do that? Generally, there are lots of different ways for you to make the exercise harder. One of the most common one is by adding weights, just like bodybuilding, which means weighted calisthenics, weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups, weighted dips, weighted squats. And believe it or not, the barbell squats that you do in a gym is actually a harder progression of calisthenics. Next up, you can also perform different progressions of exercise for each muscle group. Simple example, push-ups. We have knee push-ups, normal push-ups, and then slowly you progress into archer push-ups. Next, we have one-arm push-ups, and the more advanced will be handstand push-ups. Besides that, you can also increase the volume of your training, whether or not you want to increase the volume in terms of sets or reps. Easy example, you can perform 10 sets of workout in a workout session. But if you want to make it harder, you can always perform more than that. And you can also increase the volume by cranking up the rep range. Let's say you're doing 10 reps of 3 sets pull-ups for this week, and next week you can progress into 11 reps, so on and so forth. You can also make use of certain equipment such as the parallettes to make the exercise harder. Let's say you're doing a push-ups. When you're doing a push-ups on the floor, comparing to when you're doing a push-ups on a parallettes, of course the range of motions when you're doing a push-ups on a parallettes will be definitely larger, which means it makes the exercise harder. And the next one will be manipulating the rest time in between each set of exercise. Let's say normally you'll be resting around 1 minute of rest time for each set. You can always decrease the rest time down more to 30 seconds so that the exercise will be more intense for you. So when you understand how to use these factors to make your exercise harder, and if you are progressing in your workout, normally it means your muscle is growing at the same time. Alright, now let's move on to the second part of this video, which is diet. Again, I cannot stress this enough. If you train very hard but without dieting, your training will be useless. Because the muscle growth only happens during the rest time instead of when you are training. Which means your body needs enough amount of nutrition for you to repair the damaged muscle tissue so that your muscle can grow bigger. And personally, when it comes to diet, I focus on two things, which is calories and also protein intake. And the question of whether or not you should go on a cutting diet, bulking or maintenance, personally I think if you are staying at a stage of, like me, back in 2018, that skinny, I think you should go on a bulking diet because, or at least stay at the maintenance calories. It's either bulking or maintenance. As long as your protein intake is enough, I would say you will be safe and you will build a certain amount of muscles. Because at this stage, if you are that skinny, which means you do not have any muscle yet, so it makes no sense to go on a cutting diet at all because you're that skinny, right? But if your body or your physique is staying around this, like how I was, skinny fat, then I suggest you to go on a cutting diet so that you can get your abs more visible and your muscle more visible. Because at that stage, you can use the excess fats to burn them into muscles. You can use those extra fats to convert into muscles, if that makes sense. As for protein intake, I would suggest at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight or 2.2 grams of protein per kilograms of body weight. And if you are new to fitness world and you are not sure how to track calories, be sure to download calories tracking app. Personally, I'm using MyFitnessPal and I also made a video on how to use that app to track your calories. I'll put a link in the description, be sure to check it out. So let's move on to the last part of this video, which is consistency, which means you have to be consistent in your training and also your diet. I mean, you can do 100 push-ups a day for 30 days and see a little bit of change in your physiques, but if you do not continue your training and your diet afterwards, trust me, you are either gonna lose muscle or gain fats. So how consistent should you be training? Personally, I suggest to train at least 3 times per week, whether or not you want to run a full bodyweight workout or push-pull legs or even circuit workout, it's up to you, but at least 3 times per week so that you can hit all the muscle groups consistently. So should you go on a diet every single day? Generally, I would say yes, because I believe counting calories can help you to reach your goal faster than not counting it. But like I said in my previous video, if you know how to count your calories, fitting in 1 or 2 cheat meals in your diet plan will not hurt your progress that much. So my advice is to stay consistent with your diet plan for at least 5 to 6 days per week, which means hitting your protein and calories goal for at least 5 to 6 days, combined together with 3 times of workout per week to see consistent result in your muscle growth. The last thing I would like to mention is that make sure you get enough intake of water and also get enough rest and sleep. Like I said before, muscle growth happens when you're sleeping or during rest. And finally, when you combine training and diet and be consistent with these 2 things, I guarantee you can definitely build muscle with CALISTHENICS. With that being said, it's time to wrap this video up. If you find this video helpful or you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Double Z Fitness channel to see more informational video about CALISTHENICS in the future, turn notification on to get the latest notified to get the latest update of my videos. Double your effort, double your results, and remember, you are always awesome.
We'll go through the ways shadow turns to